I just want to say a few words as we are about to close out for this evening. Around the country, there has been many studies that show the benefits of racially diverse learning environments. And these studies have been very rigorous. They've been repeated. It's been quantified. And so the question that our Education Equity Initiative asks is, will Long Island students get that same opportunity? So this photo that you're going to see now are students from Hewlett-Whitmere, and they have been working with our Student Voices campaign. The next slide, two slides you see, are going to be slides that you saw last year. One is that today there are more than twice as many intensely segregated districts as there were 12 years ago. And the other is that, and for those majority-minority districts that are intensely segregated, the number of students attending has nearly tripled. But the decades of social science research show that students benefit from student diversity with higher achievement in language and reading, mathematics, and science. So going to school with a diverse student body is associated with growth in leadership, in critical thinking, and teamwork, all of those things. We know this, and this next slide are some students from the Sewanaka School District that have participated in our Student Voices campaign. What the studies also say is that there's overwhelming evidence to indicate that contact between different groups, such as having classmates of different racial backgrounds, lower intergroup prejudice. And we need that desperately. And we've been seeing that happen firsthand with the many programs that we have with our Student Voices campaign. So on the next slide, you will see both the student racial demographic, which is on your left, is that right, when you're looking? And the teacher racial demographic. And so we already know that most of the students, aside from the kind of programs that we do that intentionally bring students from across districts, most of the students are missing out on learning from students of different backgrounds. They are also missing out on learning from teachers of different backgrounds. And as the research tells us, with our next slide, interactions with diverse teachers and administrators benefit all students as it helps reduce prejudice toward people with different backgrounds. And our students know this, and this is just an example from one of the students that have participated from Wesley. And he said, people of color play a tremendous role in education, not just for students who look like them, but for white students as well. If white students have more Black and Latino teachers, they can't have as many prejudices either. So the studies show that students of color who have teachers of color during their educational career show improvement in academic performance, are more likely to be identified as gifted, have reduced suspension rates, and have increased college aspirations. And this example that you see on the screen, a new study published in the Institute of Labor Economics found that the probability of an economically challenged Black male student to drop out of high school decreases by nearly 40% when exposed to at least one Black teacher in elementary school. So wouldn't it be nice if New York State decided that, and all of us decided, and all of our schools decided, that can't we have one Black teacher in every elementary school? Can't we do that? If there is a probability of a 40% drop in the dropout rate. So we think that Long Island is ripe to make the changes that give every student a high-quality education, including the many benefits of diverse education. And this is how we intend to do that. And with this next slide, these are some students that came in November of 2017, when we had 70 students, high school students, that represented 16 schools. They came to a full-day youth leadership development workshop. And I think that picture begins to capture the excitement and that they experienced being in a space like that, where they were learning about leadership development, they were learning about student activism, and they were having very frank and concrete discussions about race and racism in our schools and in our community. So we are collaborating with schools and colleges to push for policies and programs that recruit, hire, and retain more teachers and administrators of color. And this is our just one of our committees from the Education Equity Working Group. We have about 70 individuals at this point, most of them educators, but also some parents and other nonprofits, et cetera. And working together, we have 5 policy priorities, and I'm just going to mention them to you. And I think this is critical because the kind of change that we would like to see that would create greater racial equity and more racially integrated learning environments on Long Island is not something that Erase Racism can do. It's only something that all of the stakeholders can do, all of us working together. So one of the policy priorities is this increase in teacher and administrator diversity, which merely means that everybody has to roll up their sleeves, both at the college level and for the districts, around retention, recruitment, and the outreach that needs to be done. Another policy priority is the implementation of culturally responsive curricula. And I'm excited to say that due to a special grant from the Roush Foundation, we're able to take over 20, I think we're up to 24 at this point, I don't see Naya to tell me the number, Long Island educators to the Columbia Teachers College Institute, 4-day institute this summer. It is nationally known, yes, and we are so grateful from Roush to allow us to create a Long Island delegation for this program. And the focus is really helping the educators to really understand the culturally responsive curricula and how important that is, and to have professional development on that topic. Another policy priority is support for the expansion of pre-K. And I know that Lucinda Hurley is in the room, who was at Nassau BOCES and really led this, the push here for our pre-K initiative on Long Island. In New York City, 100% of the 4-year-olds have access to full-day state-funded pre-K. In Nassau and Suffolk County, we're talking about 7%. Big difference. Support diverse districts. And when I say diverse, I mean districts that in some way mirror the demographics of the school population on Long Island. We have 19 out of 120 of those. We need to make sure that the 19 are supported so that those districts are the stellar districts that everyone will want to go to. And we also want to advocate and encourage the development of new racially diverse districts. And finally, the final policy priority is the implementation of restorative justice practices. And research has shown that high suspension rates and zero tolerance policies are ineffective at creating a positive school environment. And we are working with school districts and reaching out across the country as well to bring here a lot of the experts in this particular area. So there's a lot more that I could say, but I am going to end there with my remarks. And I'm going to ask that anyone that is interested in the Education Equity Initiative, please do call us. If you would like to participate on the Education Working Group, we could certainly use your assistance. And I want to make sure that you pay attention to the small card that is on your table, because next year, one of our honorees will be Dr. Beverly Tatum. She's the former president of Spelman College and author of the acclaimed book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? And I know you will want to be here for that. So I am going to just draw the 50-50 winner. I am not in here, so I can't draw myself. And look at your ticket number, 3895755. 3895755. Anybody have it? Red ticket? Nobody? Does somebody? You have it? Okay. Okay. Great. So John will take care of you. So thank you, everyone. The silent auction winners are listed on the boards, and do we also have them, Olivia? They are also going to be on these large screens, so we'll make it easy for you to see if you are a silent auction winner. Thank you, everyone. Safe travels this evening. Good evening.